Chris?
Yeah, this is me. This is Chris.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's going on,
How are
Whitney?
you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't realize that y'all are headed out on tour or starting the kickoff for your tour tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
awesome.
we leave on Friday.
You're playing tomorrow though, aren't you, in Houston?
Yeah, we're doing our kickoff show tomorrow, and then we leave on Friday.
And you've been on the road like nonstop for a while now.
Yeah, pretty much the whole year. We've had a couple of weeks off, but pretty consistently through this year.
Yo, that's crazy. And it's been like with Days N Daze, but also doing solo stuff too, right?
Yeah, yeah. I did a solo tour about 2 months ago, and it was my first time doing it. So it was pretty cool being able to go out by myself and do shows. So
Yeah, it must be a totally different experience. And your current tour coming up. So after you play in Houston, and then you really kick it off on Friday in New Orleans.
yeah, uh-huh.
I lived there for a while. I don't know if you knew that. But
Yeah.
that spot, Bank Street Bar. Have you played there before?
No, I don't think I've ever been.
Oh, it's awesome. It was a real dive bar years ago, and they've made a lot of renovations. It's a really nice spot now.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. I think you'll have a good time. Have y'all have played in New Orleans quite a few times by now, huh?
Yeah, we've played there a few times.
Do you remember where you played at the other occasions?
We played at the Dragon's Den in Siberia.
Oh yeah, both also great spots.
Last time we played at St. Rock.
Mm. I've never actually been there. I know that that was like kind of a crust punk hangout down in like
Yeah, yeah.
eighth or ninth ward, but I never went there. To be honest with you, I don't even know where it was. It was right by my kung fu school, but like I never, I never even saw it. Is that a big place?
Yeah, it's like a dive bar where a bunch of punks hang out. I usually go out there when I'm in town.
Oh, cool. Right on. Like people tell me stories about it and I just imagine what it might look like inside, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a pretty typical dive bar. It's sweet though.
Nice. Cool, yo. Yeah, and y'all have been like traveling so steadily. You must have like legions of friends and options of places to stay like everywhere y'all go.
Yeah, we've been touring for almost 10 years now, so we've made friends pretty much everywhere that we go, which is super nice being on the road.
Yeah, I mean, I think like researching you and Days and Days and just from my own experience, like doing shows with y'all and seeing y'all live, like what I see a lot is people love your music, but they love you all as people too. And like for as busy as y'all are, like Jesse too, he was on my podcast twice. He even drove out of his way when he was on the road with Escape from the Zoo to stop by. I invited him and he was like, "Oh hell yeah." It's like y'all are just like open-minded, like willing people, like down for, whatever. Whereas some other people who I'm like, "Hey, you want to do my podcast?" And they're like, let me talk to my manager about that or some shit. And I'm like,
Oh, weird.
okay, like, okay, whatever. So I see y'all as just like, I don't think it's any coincidence, like how cool and down to earth y'all are and like the success you've been having. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Yeah, we try to be the homies. We try
Yeah.
to, the more friends the better, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt. And I know that like talking with Jesse, I kind of have like some of the backstory that it like kind of started more or less like just jamming together, the two of you making songs, and then turned into all of this like this
Yeah, all of
world.
it's pretty surprising. Like we weren't expecting to be able to do this for a living and like do this full time. Um, but it's definitely humbled us, and I don't know. It's a pretty crazy experience.
Hmm. It's funny to me
goes from.
when people say that it's like a humbling experience, like receiving like any level of like stardom. Because I always wonder like, how did that humble you? Like to me, it feels like it would have like fueled my ego more. You know, it's like, what do you mean by that, really, or what do people mean by that when they say that?
It just makes me grateful for if the fact that we write our songs and write our story, and people take the time to listen to that and connect to it. Just makes you really reevaluate how you go out and present yourself to the world. I mean, we owe everything to the people that listen to our music, and we wouldn't be doing any of this without them.
Yeah, that's dope. Were you like into singing and playing music before, or was like trumpet something that you picked up to create the songs? Or like, what is the story with all that?
Oh, I was a total band nerd. Like, I did marching band and all that stuff in high school and through junior high. So it took about a year or two for me to convince Jesse for me to pick up my trumpet again and be like, okay, this will work. This will work. He's like, no, not with what we're doing. But after I convinced him, it kind of just fit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like your signature sound.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. I love my trumpet. It's a thing I do, you know.
Besides like playing in the band, and I know you're on tour, so you're playing all the time, but like in free time, would you say that you pick up the trumpet more now or when you were with the marching band in school?
Oh, definitely now.
Hmm.
Yeah, I try my best to practice as much as I can. And in high school, like I was a punk kid, so I you know I was like fuck practicing, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
for
Now
sure.
it's a bit more rewarding doing it uh, in this band instead of for a grade.
No doubt. It's cool though that you had like that opportunity though to be schooled like in a almost kind of like military style way on the instrument. Because I know that the marching band is like largely based on that, like marching, like a large
Oh yeah,
troop of people.
yeah.
Have you
It was
crossed
pretty.
paths with anybody from your old marching band, like since you've found such success in music?
My band director actually follows me in my career on Facebook, so that's pretty
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, they must be proud
Like,
as hell.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't the most uh, obedient student, so kind of funny that how much he supports me nowadays. It's pretty cool.
I think teachers can kind of see through that though, like especially
Oh yeah,
with punk kids. It's like, man, this whole, systematic education thing just isn't for this kid, but they might know like that's a special person. Like after they get out of this madness, they're really going to find themselves, you know?
yeah. I remember this one girl like went to the office and complained about me, and he was like, okay, if you're gonna be in this band, you need how to like you need to learn how to deal with Whitney. Like it's so
Yeah,
pretty cool.
that's neat. Do you ever think of like hitting people up from the band for like feature like a trombone or a tuba player to come like jump in the studio with y'all?
Oh man, I don't really talk to anyone
Yeah.
from from back then.
Yeah, I guess most people really don't. That's funny though. And trumpet's not your only instrument. Like when you tour solo, you're playing guitar and you play ukulele in Days and Days as
Yeah,
well, right?
yeah, and I'm writing my solo album on the piano,
Oh
so
wow, you're
I'm
like
trying to slowly but surely.
musical octopus.
I'm what Jesse always says. jack of all trades but master of none. You know, kind of like that.
How long have you been playing piano?
My whole life. I've been
Oh,
playing.
okay.
I stopped playing for a long time though, so I'm kind of writing this album and relearning how to play. So it's kind of a cool kind of journey I'm going on.
Oh, hell
with
yeah.
Doing this.
And the album will kind of like capture this moment for you in time, you know, and you'll be able to like look back and chart the progress and be like, oh, I remember learning that chord that you use or whatever, you know, or some run.
Yeah.
I always learn a lot writing my lyrics because I try to make them real dense with a lot of like, I don't know, hidden things in there. And I'm always just literally doing research. I got like 12 Wikipedia pages open and I'm typing like a madman. And it's like the creation time surprisingly is almost equally a learning experience.
Yeah, definitely.
And what about guitar and uke? Have you been playing those like all the while as well?
No, I actually. So before I learned how to play the uke, I would just write lyrics and give them to Jesse, and he would put chords to them. And I kind of, when I went traveling, like by myself without the band, was really when I had to learn how to play the uke and the guitar or the uke, to make money and to feed myself. And so I started writing songs from that. And then Jesse couldn't make a show one night in Oregon. And so I went to a guitar center and bought a guitar, like poured super glue on my fingers, and went online, learned our songs, and played in front of like 400 people.
That's crazy.
It was fucking terrifying, but I kind of forced myself into learning how to play the guitar that way.
Wow, yeah.
Still
Talk about being thrust into a new situation. Yeah, speaking of which, I saw the video of you forgot your trumpet and you just did the set on a kazoo, but you like pulled it off. It's crazy.
That was I've only left my trumpet twice in my entire life, and it is just the most gut-wrenching feeling. I was so bummed out. I was like crying before that set. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. But at least we had the kazoo, so that worked out.
Dude, in everybody's mind who's there, that makes that show all the more legendary, and you all the more like just the epitome of the show must go on. Dude, as soon as you said it, they're like, we're gonna play it. Everybody in the crowd goes, kazoo, kazoo. It was hilarious. They're all chanting kazoo. I'm like, yo, this is nuts. But it worked. I mean, you pulled it off. I think that's really cool. And like, again, it kind of goes back to that like rep that you've earned with your fan base, that like there's that much love within the whole event that it's like no trumpet, kazoo, yo, it's all good. Everybody was just there to have fun and scream along and sing along. Like
yeah, definitely.
When I saw y'all in Philly, I was at the show you did in the basement with Stupid Henchmen.
Oh yeah.
It was just like utter chaos. Like
it was crazy. Yeah. I thought I was going to pass out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what a lot of your shows are like, though, no?
Yeah. Yeah, it gets pretty rowdy sometimes.
And it really was, like, out of a lot of shows that I've seen, just kind of like a party. Like, it seemed like the crowd, like I said before, just, like, loves y'all and was there to really just kind of party and drink with y'all, while at the same time it was almost like you were doing a live podcast. You guys would talk a little bit, people would laugh, then a song would start and the pit would go crazy and there's liquor bottles flying everywhere, and then yeah. It's cool. Yeah, and it makes me think like just about like the whole like dynamic of your group. And I know y'all have done like a lot of music videos, like really well done professional music videos. And is that something that you're like uh interested in, is kind of like, I don't know, for lack of a better word, like marketing yourself, like either in more like acting or just like, I don't know, a TV radio personality type way? Like, cause I could totally see that.
Yeah, we just, I don't know, we just kind of do what comes around. Our buddy in Chibi Pictures, Jack Curley, he's one of my personal best friends, and we just go up to him and we're like, "This is our idea of what we have," and we just kind of go out and do it. There's no like story plot line or anything. It's just really like a natural thing that happens during our music videos.
So it's like
Uh,
improv.
yeah, pretty much.
Hmm.
Yeah, we just talk about it for 10 minutes and then just go shoot
Okay.
and see what
Wow.
comes out.
Yeah, that video the one in particular is super sad, where it's like two shots of like you on one.
Yeah, that was my brainchild. That was like, I had that idea and Jesse was like, "It sounds boring." And I'm like, "No, it's not going to be boring. It's going to be good. Like, we just got to go for it." And Jack pretty much just followed us around for 2 days and edited it,
Yeah,
edited
it's a
it
cool word.
to what it is, and it's one of my personal like favorites that we've done.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And I mean, and Jesse did a really passionate performance as well, I would say, you know.
Yeah,
But overall, the video, it's just like it just made me like sad, which I guess was kind of the
the whole
theme.
premise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but that's a good way. It's like when you watch a movie and there's a guy in it who's being a jerk, the actor, and you're like, I hate that guy. And it's like, well, if you hate him, then he's doing his job well because he was supposed to be like a jerk in the
But
movie.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, like further on though, do you enjoy like being on camera? Do you like do you ever think about doing acting? Because it's something I always kind of like fantasize about, but I think would never really happen for myself. I don't know. I'm also like, did a punk with the camera came to interview me, and I was so nervous
Oh, cool.
on camera. I haven't been on camera in
Yeah,
so long.
I have horrible red light syndrome,
Hmm.
so I don't think that acting would ever be something that I would do, just because I get really like uptight
Hmm.
around when I know that someone's filming. I just like kind of just start acting unnatural.
Me too.
I mean, it's easy
Yeah.
with Jack with Shibby Pictures, just because he's such close friends with us, and he like makes everything kind of nonchalant, like filming. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I mean that's the way it should be. Like any, whether it's a video producer or recording engineer, like if the chemistry has to feel right, it's got to feel natural, and that's how I just felt. Like I felt bad because as soon as he turned on the camera, I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" You know, what I mean? Like just become this
Yeah,
total dork.
yeah. That that's my entire life for sure.
Yeah, you pull it off though. You rock it. Like, what about what if someone approached you like to be the lead in like a punk rock musical, like acting and singing, maybe even playing?
That would be sick. I mean, I'm always down to do anything, pretty much. I mean, it's like that whole, you only live once, so fuck it, just kind of
Hmm.
go with whatever's presented. And I think that's a huge reason why we've come so far. It's because every opportunity that we've been presented with, if it can work out, we make sure that it does.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I see that working for you, and it makes me reflect back upon my own. I've always like coveted my art more and like been kind of more like, who's that guy? The little gremlin creature with the precious ring. Is that Gollum they call him? I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like that. I'm like somebody's like, hey, do you want to do a verse? And I'm like, nah. And like, I'm like, inspect their
yeah,
whole, you know what I mean? And, I'm trying to be more open now, like, and doing this podcast has really helped me open my mind. I mean, there was even a time when I just didn't understand folk punk, like, and I didn't think it was something that I really, was interested in. But like now that I'm doing the podcast and I'm doing so many interviews with so many folk punk players, it's making me realize like, yo, this is where the action is happening in the folk punk scene.
yeah,
And there's a hell of a lot of good musicians. And it makes me think about all the ska punk bands. And I'm like, well, you guys don't even really know how to tune your guitars, let alone play them. And these players over here are ripping like banjos and washtub basses and trump and all these
yeah.
interesting instruments where like I've never even like touched that instrument, let alone like knew how to rock it like that. It's really cool to see it like evolving.
Yeah, for sure. It's like we've been doing this for almost 10 years next year. So um it's incredible the transformation that's happened within the folk punk scene, because before we didn't know what genre we were at all. We were just kind of playing. We were playing metal shows and ska shows and punk shows,
I know that game.
and really fit into any specific group. And then Sky Logan Green saw our first Houston show and was like, "Hey, do you want to come to Tucson to play this Brutal Sen Fest?" And we were like, "Sure, heck yeah." And we went on our first tour, and we went to this festival, and we were like, "Holy shit. There's an actual name for what we do. There's people doing this." And it's crazy how much that's grown over the years.
Yeah, like, I mean, I guess people say that they're like it's been happening, but like I didn't know about folk punk before Days N Daze. I mean,
Yeah.
if there were people like playing, like I know Sturgeon was rolling around playing his punk songs with an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
But that was kind of around the same time when y'all started doing it too. And if it was happening before, it hadn't really been brought to the forefront like y'all have been able to do.
Right.
But now it's
Yeah.
like I can't believe when I watch the Punk with the Camera videos, the DIY sessions, which y'all have done quite a few of, which I really enjoy, by the way. But I can't believe how many like substantial players there are in the scene. It's cool, and it makes me wonder. Like, and I asked this to Apes of the State. Were on the podcast last time. Like, where did y'all even like find these instruments? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
It's a really awesome community too. Like, everyone knows each other. We all help each other out with shows. We do show trades and make sure that we all have each other's backs. It's an awesome scene.
And the whole scene is kind of rooted in like almost kind of like a Vagabond, not kind of, but like almost completely, right? Like a drifter spirit kind of encourages the whole folk punk idea.
Yeah.
Hence,
yeah, it's a huge part of it.
No electricity.
Yeah, just being able to play a show no matter what.
Right.
Is a cool,
cool
thing that
me, I'm like, oh, I need my delay pedal and my pitch shifter and my power rack and my tuner and my guitar, and somebody help me with my cab, and it's like y'all are already halfway through the set by the time I plugged in half my shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's cool. Like,
we do at a lot. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, what we do at a lot of our shows, like we play our set all mic'd up, and then for the last song we'll go into the crowd and like have our last like sing along song with everyone in there. You can't really hear us very well, but like the crowd and everything kind of makes up for
Oh, hell yeah. It doesn't even
the
matter at
experience.
that point.
Yeah.
And like, so you, in the folk punk scene, like some nights you might be doing shows in like the roughest squat in the city. Other nights you're on like a professional festival stage, like with huge lighting systems and soundboards, and you're like
Yeah.
6 feet away from the crowd behind a barricade. How is it like juggling the transition from night to night? Like one night you're on a festival like that, the next night you're in some basement in Philly.
I think, I mean, we always say that every show that we play is different depending on how we're feeling and how our day went. So it's kind
Hmm.
of reflected on that, just kind of to kind of adapt very quickly to what to set up. And we also have different kinds of set lists that we play, depending on what kind of crowd we're playing to, or what kind of stage we're playing to. So we kind of just have to figure it out, and then play the best show to what our environment gives us.
Hmm. Yeah, that's cool. Like to be able to adapt like that on the spot. It's a valuable skill for a band to have, especially when it's so drastic from like, one night you don't even have like a PA system like that spot in Philly. I don't know like what was going on during the Henchman set. The power kept cutting out, so like all you would hear is like drums, and then the amps and vocals turn back on. Then it's just drums, but like
Yeah,
in that environment, it's almost like that helps the show. When the lights go out,
yeah,
everybody was like, yeah, and fucking
like
going crazy.
controlled chaos.
Totally. Yeah, exactly. Totally chaotic. Yeah, watching your live videos, like I've come across, like I saw y'all did Linoleum. I saw at one festival show you did a Radiohead cover, and you've got like a pretty sizable catalog at this point. And mixing covers in too. Is that something y'all like to do? Like, how do you sort through such a large playlist and figure out what you want to do? And do you like adding cover songs to the sets?
Yeah, I like doing the cover songs, because if this is someone's first time seeing us play,
Mm.
like, and then they hear a song that they really like that's including everyone, not just the people that uh, have listened to our band. We can have like everyone fucking come together and sing this fucking dorky song or cover that we're doing, and like sing it all together instead of just us playing to the crowd. But we pretty much figured it out just by us going through the chords and then shouting out which covers we think that would be like fun to play. And then once someone, okay, so for example, we played with Jewel earlier this year in Alaska. So we
Whoa.
decided to learn a Jewel cover in the middle of one of our songs, and it went off like it was super silly. It's like the silliest thing.
Wow,
But
that's awesome. Jewel. I was like, wait a minute, like Jewel?
well, yeah,
I don't I guess I would know a Jewel song if I heard it, but I can't really think of
yeah. I'm
one.
trying to figure it out. Who will save your soul? Like that,
Oh,
you
that's a
know?
good one. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember which one. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah. That was awesome though that y'all got to go up to Alaska. I saw some pictures of y'all on like the glaciers and shit. That must have been so cool.
Yeah, it was an awesome experience. It was beautiful, for sure. We spent a lot of nights sleeping in the woods,
Wow.
going hungry. It brought us back.
Like
I
camping?
definitely did not. Yeah, we were camping in the woods, like probably like 40% of the time
Whoa.
we
Like
were there.
after a show, you would go like find a camp spot or just like set up shop?
Well, we had a lot of time off. So I think we played like 6 shows in like 2 weeks. So on our 10th off, we would go out and shows, and we played this festival where it was in the woods.
Whoa.
So, yeah. It was cool, though. We went whitewater rafting twice.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was an awesome experience. Like,
Damn.
we got to do it for free, that's another thing with going around and playing. We get to experience all these cool things that our friends help us out with. I don't know.
Oh, hell
awesome.
yeah. Yeah, that's the right way to do it too. A 2-week tour in Alaska with plenty of time to sightsee and check stuff out. That's the right way to do it.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, most of my touring experiences, like going cool places, it's like, well, how was the city? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, I know what the basement of this shitty venue was like. That was cool.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I've gone everywhere, but I've only seen so many places.
Man. It's like painting a very vivid, beautiful image in my mind of whitewater rafting in Alaska, what that must have been like. Was that water just like the freshest, clearest water you ever splashed around in?
Yeah. It was just awesome. It's nothing I've ever experienced before. And when we were on that glacier, we all like drank glacier water. Like that's insane.
Yeah, and you've been all over the country. Like, what was different about the forest like there as opposed to forest like here in Pennsylvania where I am, or elsewhere, even in Washington? Like, I feel like it would just kind of be a different world. Was it just like, did the air smell different?
It was a lot fresher. Like, everything just seemed a lot cleaner. And the woods actually reminded me a lot of the Pacific Northwest. Like, but yeah, everything just seemed cleaner. Like, you could breathe better. It was nice.
That sounds magnificent. Did you come across any wildlife up there, like moose or anything crazy?
We saw a moose from a distance, and then a baby bear like ran in front of our car.
Wow.
When we were driving, and it was adorable. And I was really glad that I was like in the car and not out of the car, because I would have probably freaked out.
Yeah, and
I was terrified of bears that entire time. I kept like trying to get trivia on them to figure out if I ran into them, and everyone was like, just calm down, you're not going to run into a bear. But
lack fear like a black bear.
Yeah.
And wherever a baby bear is, there's a mama bear not too far from that.
And you don't want to fuck with that.
Oh, hell no. Like, a kid actually just got mauled by a bear right around where I live a couple of years ago. Right outside of, I think it was Rutgers University campus.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's like something. No, that's horrible.
Yeah, I can't imagine. It's like in that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy. Do you see that one? I think it is based in Alaska, I think.
Oh, really? I don't know.
I've only been to Alaska in film, but that's definitely a location I want to get to. I mean, at this point for me, it's just like I just want to use music as like a vessel to get places, like cool places like that, just to check it out, you know, regardless of how much money I might make at the show, whatever. It's just like cover the cost to get there. Awesome. Had you done much traveling before you were playing in the band? Like, had you seen other parts of the country?
Not to the extent of what we do. We started touring when I was 18, and that's pretty much when I started venturing out into at least the States. Last year we went to Europe, which was incredible. So not too much. Days N Daze has definitely taken me more places than anything else.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's what I always say. It's like when you're just kind of like a regular kid, it's like you got two choices if you want to travel and see the world. It's like play music or join the army.
Right.
Or you could, I guess, just be a drifter and like travel around
Yeah.
aimlessly. Have you done any of that? I mean, I know it's like part of the folk punk culture.
Yeah, I did. Oh God, it had to be like 4 or 5 years ago. I went out and traveled up the East Coast and through the Southwest.
Is that when you said
And
you were learning ukulele and guitar?
yeah,
Or I mean ukulele, you learned guitar right
yeah,
the night before a show.
yeah. That's when I really I had to figure it out. You know.
Hmm. Were you like
Uh,
train hopping or like hitchhiking? How were you?
yeah, I was hitchhiking and train hopping.
Holy shit, that must have been crazy.
It was it was definitely an experience. Something that I keep with me very, very close to my heart.
Are you like thankful that you went on the journey? Like, does it seem like did you get out of it what you were trying to find?
Well, I left. I pretty much hit a really crazy rock bottom of my life where my grandfather had just died. Me and Jesse had split up, and I was at this. I was going to school and living alone, and I was just over it. So I dropped out of college. I left my apartment and just didn't come back for a while. But when I did eventually come back, me and Jesse got back to writing, and we just it was a renewed kind of sense of writing.
Hmm.
That I really needed to be out on my own, figure out the world, and when my whole world had crashed around me, I needed to get a new reason for living, and it definitely gave me that.
Dude, you know how many people are gonna like quit college when they hear this podcast and just start
Oh no!
train hopping around?
I mean,
Whitney told me to do it. No, that's cool. I mean, I kind of had a not the similar experience, but in my own way, not like train hopping, but I definitely left home and found something. Like my kind of journey was through martial arts and then coming back to music feeling renewed. But like I've always kind of been like envious of people who have done just that vagabond lifestyle. Like what was a day in the life like? Like just an average day. Where did you sleep? What did you eat? Like how were you getting around? Did you have a guide or were you like going solo? Like tell me all about it.
I had a flip phone and a map, and I was with a partner at the time, and we would just sleep under bridges and go from A to B, you know?
And just
I don't
hang
know.
out? Like, did you just like walk around the city and check out record shops or like,
Yeah, we were trying to get up to Maine, which we ended up doing, and I spent a lot of time up there, traveling around the Northeast. But yeah, but we made money, we got our rides, and yeah, I don't know.
it was cool. Were
Yeah,
there
it was cool.
were there times though when you're like, fuck, sleeping under a bridge, this sucks? Or were you like always kind of living in the moment?
Yeah, I always went with the mentality of eventually. Like, if I was hungry, eventually I would have food. If I was tired, eventually I would get sleep.
Whoa.
Like, everything is the mentality of eventually it'll be okay. And it always ended up being okay. Like, I remember, Olive! Sorry, Olive! Come here! Stop it! Bark at me. What was I saying?
Like something really cool about how you kind of developed a mantra of eventually I'll get what I need, like to endure.
Yeah, I remember I hadn't eaten for 2 days, and we showed up flying a sign, and someone pulled over and gave us $100, and I started crying. I was like, okay, I can finally fucking eat some food.
Lobsters.
Yeah, we went like straight to Whole Foods and just got all of the food. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah, wow. That must have been like the greatest feast.
Yeah, it was pretty epic.
Were there like any close calls? Did you run into like shady characters on the freight lines, like weird people hitchhiking?
I got the cops called on me so many times because of the fact that they thought I was a runaway. One time I got pulled off the highway and they were like, we got a call that an 11-year-old was hitchhiking on the highway. And I'm like, I'm a grown adult. Like,
yeah,
don't do that. But there's this one guy named Hammer that picked us up, and he was on his way to Tijuana. Or no, to where was he going? He was on his way to Mexico to fuck hookers and shoot dope. And he was like, Don't go down there. You have that librarian look. And I'm like sitting there being like, what are you talking? And he's like, give me a beer, sweetheart. I'm like, okay. This other time we got pulled over, and the guy that was driving us was like super fucked up. And we got pulled over by the cops. And the cops was like, okay, we're going to arrest this guy, or you guys can drive his car back to his house. Whoa. So I ended up having to drive this fucked up guy back to his house and walk all the way back to the highway.
Oh, shit.
Ridiculous.
Damn.
And then one time that was super cool was I got picked up by a Greyhound, like an empty charter bus.
Whoa.
And we got to smoke cigarettes in there, and like it was sweet.
Nice. Man, how are you getting tobacco if you didn't even have food?
Sniping. Just we had like a bag of tobacco that was from butts of cigarettes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you just like I used to do that when I was trying to quit smoking. I would like go to my roommate's ashtray and like nervously break up all the butts and then be like on the porch fucking smoking it like a fiend. Man.
Yeah, pretty much. We were stuck in Mississippi for like a few days, and we were like smoking snipes of snipes. It was pretty rough.
Oh, is that the term for that? Sniping?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew. I thought I was the only person who ever did that, but yeah, that makes sense. And you find one that was like only half smoked, like it's a fucking treasure or something. You feel like a millionaire.
That was like in New York, like 2 drags and then dropped their cigarette, which is just a huge amount of unsmoked cigarettes, which is fucking awesome.
In New York, that's like dropping $2 on the ground.
I know, but all these like rich businessmen, like, or ladies, were just don't even appreciate the fact that a cigarette costs, like, a pack of cigarettes is $15.
Oh, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. This is like, I feel like anytime somebody talks about how expensive cigarettes are, some guys always like, when I remember buying, but I do remember buying these like cigarettes called Cimarron for like $2 a pack. I don't even think you could get them
Oh,
that cheap in Pennsylvania anymore, but I
yeah.
haven't smoked in years. Do you still smoke?
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever
I,
do you ever feel like that affects your playing, your trumpet playing?
well, like, it's weird because I run too.
Hmm.
So, like, I can run a mile and a half straight and pick up my trumpet, play my trumpet. I don't know what's wrong with me. I have, like, a crazy lung capacity, I guess.
Yeah.
That just makes, because I love, like, I would quit everything else in my life if I could have my cigarettes.
Hmm.
Like, horrible. I gave myself until 30 to quit. So I have 3 years. So I gotta, you know,
Yeah, that's
make
not too
that work.
bad. I mean, I think they say like if you quit before you're 30, you're still like regenerative enough to like after 7 years, it would be like you never smoked at all, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I remember thinking the same thing when I first started doing kung fu and I was still smoking. I would like be smoking on my way to the kung fu school, which is so, put my cigarette out and walk in and still like felt like I was working out as hard or harder than anybody there. And I remember
Right.
telling my cousin who always struggled off and on with smoking, telling him like, yeah, dude, it doesn't even bother me. I'm still doing all the jumps and push-ups and like
Yeah.
hard sparring. And he's like, yeah, but imagine if you didn't smoke, how good you'd be. And I was like, but my problem was always more with the smokeless tobacco. I like the chewing tobacco like baseball
Oh,
players and
yeah.
shit. But I don't know. Then I'm a freak about my teeth too. I like no matter how drunk I am, I'm like I gotta floss my teeth,
Yeah.
before going to bed. Was that like? What about being on the road and like hygiene? Is that I never got like into all the like aspects of punk I've been interested in and taken part in. Like I just love showering. You know what I mean? And I like having like my nails trimmed down. I don't know. I feel weird. I
I
feel like
definitely, I definitely appreciate it more now that I'm older. But before I just didn't give a fuck, and it was just dirty. Just very
yeah,
dirty.
yeah. It's
I,
almost kind
I
of like a statement.
it's something. I mean, just like you don't really have a choice. Like there's not really a shower that same guy Hammer uh pulled over and bought us showers at a gas station. We were just smelled like just way too bad to be in his car.
Whoa,
So
that was nice of him.
yeah, for sure.
You probably want
But
to wear flip flops in one of those truck stop showers.
yeah, that was, but you know, probably a good idea.
So were you like writing along the way and like figuring out how to play ukulele like while all this was going on?
Yeah, yeah. It yeah.
Did
I
you
was just
did you ever hear
big
this song Tonight You Belong to Me?
by who?
Well, it's kind of like a popular ukulele song and I remember I have a friend, one of my
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, my friend Vanessa plays ukulele and I remember asking her about that song and she's like, "Dude, that's like the the doorway to ukulele music. That's like the entry. That's like ukulele 101, you know?"
Yeah.
But it's a
I,
great song. It's a fantastic song and there's I don't know. You probably never saw this movie called The Jerk with Steve Martin.
I don't. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They played that song, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bernadette Peters, the actress in the movie, actually pulls out a trumpet. They're like walking along the beach and he's strumming the uke. And then
Yeah.
she pulls out a trumpet like out of nowhere and it's hilarious. And I was looking into it while I was like preparing to do this podcast to see if she actually played it. And apparently the director was Carl Reiner or Rob Reiner or Carl Reiner. Didn't, she played ukulele or she played trumpet, but he didn't want her to play it in the scene. He's like, no, no. But apparently, like, I was like reading on message boards and people are like, but you can tell she's hitting the right notes, like playing along with the part. So, and then she had said in interviews that she did play and she wanted to play in the scene, but whatever. I thought that was a pretty cool side note. But then it just made me think of you because it's like those are your instruments,
But
ukulele and trumpet.
yeah, I just make a one man band.
Well, I think you could cover that song and like make $1 million.
Oh yeah.
That'd be cool.
Okay.
I'd like to hear it. I like the song. It's crazy. It's like for I don't know. Sometimes I hear these like love songs or like pop songs and I'm just like disgusted, like Satan puking like unholy black vomit upon it. But then
Yeah.
then sometimes it hits my heart like the Grinch who stole Christmas and I'm just like
Yeah.
single tear coming out of my eye, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Definitely.
Have you always been into writing like lyrics or were you into writing poetry or anything before you started writing songs?
Yeah, I remember writing my first poem when I was like 12, and my English teacher like, you need to keep doing this, and so after that, I just been writing ever since, and I don't know. I write more of poetry than actual songs, which Jesse is an incredible person to work with, just because he understands my writing technique and how to utilize that into the songs and kind of bring a different dynamic to my songwriting. It's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
That is cool. So do y'all like write together? Like you'll present an idea that's more prose and then he'll kind of convert it into lyrics, or do you actually sit down together and be like, I have a line. Oh, now what if we said this here? Like you're co-writing?
Yeah. It's we both will write our own songs, and then for the majority of the album we'll sit down and go basically line for line, just, and it's not necessarily like I sing what I write or he sings what he writes. We collectively write a song together.
Oh, okay. One of my favorite songs on Crushfall is the instrumental breakdown. Like,
Oh yeah.
I think that's
Thank you.
badass. Like I could just listen to like an album, all of that. Did you write that story for that song?
Yeah, it was actually a dream that I had, and I was in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, and I woke up. I woke up like shaking and crying, and ran out to my van and wrote exactly what I said.
Wow.
On the album. There was no editing. There was no editing on the writing part of that. It was just me just waking up, writing down my dream, and then I sent it to Jesse, and I was like, I think this would be a cool idea for the instrumental song, and he was down and wrote the instrumental part.
Whoa. Yeah, that's really cool. I was actually going to ask that if it really was a dream or if that was just like part of the words.
Yeah. It was like hyper realistic. I can still like feel that dream, like, to this day.
Wow, I wonder what it was. I've talked to other songwriters who have had like visions in dreams and stuff. I don't get that, man, unfortunately. I just have nightmares about being chased by the cops or like
Oh no.
not being able to find a clean shirt and the stupid henchmen are about to start playing and I'm like, "Where's the shirt? I don't have a shirt." And I miss the show. Like I have that dream and I'm like, "What this fucking sucks, man." I never have cool
Yeah.
dreams. Um do you ever have you ever thought about like elaborating upon that story and maybe like even making like a short story out of it?
I really wanted to make a music video that was animated for it.
Oh yeah.
To give, I don't know. I think that would be that would, in my mind, be my way of delving deeper into what it all means.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be fantastic. Are you interested otherwise like in like pursuing other mediums with your writing, like whether it be literature or just like a book of your prose?
I would want I would want to write a book one day. I mean, right now, my whole life is basically just booking tours and going on tours. But if I ever, I'm going back to school in January, hopefully.
Whoa, really?
And yeah, I'm going back to a music business because I
Ah.
manage Days N Daze right now, and I want to kind of go back and learn something. I haven't learned anything in a while,
Hmm.
and kind of take the knowledge from what I learned and use that to help the band.
Dude, you'll probably end
But
up teaching the class.
yeah,
Honestly, man,
it might
it's
be a
like,
lot of bullshit, but I don't know. I want to
no,
I
that's
want to hit
cool.
up every aspect that life can give me, and oh um yeah. So I'm gonna try it out. See,
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask that. So is Sweater Weather Booking like your company?
like, yeah. The booking collective that I started like 6 or 7 years ago. I don't. I pretty much just focus on doing tours for Days N Daze, and I book local shows. I actually have my 7th year doing my festival is in December. It's called
Oh, cool.
Folksfest Fest, and we we raised, like, last year. Days N Daze and Sweater Weather Booking raised over 2,000 pounds of food for this organization that I've been working with for the past 7 years. And that's kind of what it's a canned food drive.
That's
That
awesome. What is the organization called?
it's called Helping Hands. It's
Wow,
in Rosenberg, Texas.
that's
It's
really
in
cool.
the pretty much the small town that me and Jesse grew up in. It's their local their local charity bank where it's basically going, like, there isn't some corporation taking what you donate. It's
Right.
going straight from you to the people that need help.
That's fucking awesome. And it's
Yeah.
probably a much needed service right now within the wake of
Yeah.
the current disaster and the storm and all the flooding.
On this last tour, we raised over $3,000 for the hurricane relief fund.
That's fucking
Um,
amazing.
so
Wow.
yeah, we try to help out as much as we can. You know,
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I
don't have
mean,
we don't have too much, but what we can do is through our music, and you know, doing these food drive donation shows, you can raise canned foods, and also like I'll have the show be $10, and then if you bring in canned food, it's $7. So you're helping out people and still getting to go to a show. It's like a 50-cent can of food. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And it's like such a bigger effect too than just what can be measured, like whether pounds of food or money raised. Like just being a positive role model within the scene and within the community, like
Yeah.
you're undoubtedly inspiring others to kind of follow in your footsteps. Where there's so many other like notable, sometimes it seems like insincere when celebrities are like, we're gonna do this donation, but it's like almost kind of like that guy Bono or whatever the fuck his name is from U2.
Oh yeah.
It always kind of felt like that was just his market, like that he was just marketing himself.
Right.
That I don't know. I mean, better than not doing anything at all, better than Kid Rock, but like with y'all,
Kind of a
it's just
Yeah.
With y'all, it's like sincere, and I see that, and I have the same concerns because I wanted to do a merchandise sale and send money to Puerto Rico, and then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, dude, somebody's gonna fucking just skim off the top. Like that's what always happens. So what I want to do is actually just buy a charcoal water filter system that it's only like $200 and just find somebody in Puerto Rico and like mail it to them. You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure you could filter like a fucking puddle water with that thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least in a time of crisis, you could, you know?
For sure.
So you're like doing all these tours and at the same time, like booking the next one? Like that's all you? You don't have like a booking agent?
No. I have started getting help this year by Crossface Booking. Or they're helping us. They helped us out with like 5 shows this year in bigger cities, because I'm a DIY booker. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't have the experience of working with contracts in big venues, and you know, so our friend Jay Crash.
Yeah, I know Jay.
Helped us. Yeah, he helps us out a lot, and we've known him for years. I trust him.
Yeah, he's cool as hell.
So.
Yeah, he did some Mad Conductor shows for us in the Northwest. Nice.
Yeah, but besides that, I'm pretty much just booking my little heart out.
I mean, that was always where I got like my feet tripped up underneath me. It was like I was on a tour, I'm in Canada, and I know that the US tour is happening next month, and I just barely be able to get all those shows together, but then just like lose control of it and then fall out from under me. But like you're consistently like staying on top of the game. That's very impressive.
Thank you. I try really, really hard.
Which is why, like, when you say you're going to go to school for music business, and I'm thinking, like, dude, you should open a school for music business.
Yeah.
Like, shit, I'd rather pick your brain about it than maybe a college professor. But like you said, then there's the logistics, the ins and outs of, well, do you have the 590 PC contract that you need to...
Exactly.
And it's like, what the fuck is that? I mean, I made that shit up. I don't... but...
No, yeah, exactly. But there is a lot that I realize that I don't know.
Yeah.
But I want to know.
I mean, I don't know. It's almost better, like, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus or anything, but when you hit a level, then there's fucking tax forms. I remember the dude asking me, like, what's your tax ID number? And I'm like, I don't have a fucking tax ID number, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you make a cash in a basement show? Yo, son, fucking stuff it under the seat. That's that's all you right there. You're not buying any bulletproof vests for the local police force with that money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot. I mean, I'm learning as I'm going, but definitely since we've gotten a little bit bigger, um, there's a lot of things that I'm realizing that have been going over my head and just
Uh,
trying to keep up and not get screwed over by people that will be nice. They'll be nice, and but they'll try to fuck you over, and
that's called a
just gotta be
snake
on
in the
top of it.
grass.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
gotta try and be on top of it.
I was actually curious about that. Like at the level you're at, like do you have like major labels like shooting you offers and like trying to gobble you up?
Not not really.
Hmm.
Not
That amazes me. It's like where do they find all these other jackasses that they like put out and like nobody cares about them, but it's like if they really had their ear to the street, they'd be knocking down your door. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But
I
it's
don't know.
not necessarily what you want or what you need either. You know, I could see somebody like
Right.
I could see like fucking Warner Bros. Signing Days and Days and being like, "Look, Whitney, we gotta lose these other three guys. They're holding you back."
Oh
Like,
yeah. Right.
and just turning you into like the next Katy Perry or some shit.
Oh no way.
It's like when you have the DIY system on lock, I feel like it's easier to be successful than if you have so many sticky fingers in your fucking merch
Yeah.
box. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, yeah. There are people that when they see you're being successful want a piece of it, you know? But you gotta that's why we work with just our friends, like the people that we know and will be held accountable not on not just on a professional level but on a personal level. You know,
Mm.
we're all just trying to help each other out, not, you know, just get a paycheck.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. Um, but you're still able to like put together some big shit. Like you're after this tour with Days and Days in October, in November you're going out to New Zealand and Australia for a solo tour, right?
Yeah.
That's fucking
Jack
awesome.
Curley from Chevy Pictures set that whole thing up. Is I was so busy with Days and Days all year. I was like not going to be able to book that, and he just said it. He's just an incredible person. I have only the best things to say about him, and I'm super excited that I have the opportunity to go out to New Zealand and play these shows.
Yeah. I mean I've lost track of all the places y'all have been. Have you played in Australia yet?
No, I've been telling Jesse for the past year. I'm like, I'm going to Australia. I'm going to New Zealand. And I don't think he believed me until he saw the flyer online. And he was like, "You're going to New Zealand without me?" I'm like, "I'm sorry."
Well,
God,
he went out to Hawaii though, didn't he, with his sister?
I I think they're supposed to, and
Yeah.
he never thought that. So
Well, I'm sure within the next few years, y'all will probably fucking throw a lot more darts at the map.
oh yeah, for sure. I want to go to South Africa next year,
Oh wow.
like really bad. So hopefully I can get that going. Just because we all just, I mean, we're all travelers. We're all musicians and travelers. That's all we want to do. So we want to do that in as many places as we can.
Yeah. I mean, had like all this not have come together, like did you have a plan of what you would be doing or what you wanted to do or was it
I
like
honestly, I don't know. Every year is kind of shocking that was still alive, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't really have any plans. Like, if this failed, it was kind of like, it was all or nothing. Like, I wouldn't, I don't think I would have, I don't think I would be here if, if not for Days N Daze. And, I just don't even want to think about it.
Yeah. You don't
super
have
grateful
to.
that it was.
You don't have to, because it would all just be hypothetical anyway. So
Yeah. And it's only going up, hopefully.
yeah, no doubt. Do you remember the first time you ever like fucking screamed into a microphone?
Yes. And the person who's running sound got mad at me because because I didn't know how to do it, because we always played acoustic, so I would like scream too loud or like not look at the mic, and every time I heard myself, I would get nervous, like through the monitors. So I would just try not to like scream into it. I don't know.
Yeah, you're blowing his tweeters out.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I ever screamed like that fucking punk style. I had just got the Leftover Crack 7-inch with Muppet Nambla on it, and I was just, I remember
Yeah.
I called my sister into the room, my kid sister Bridget, and I was like, dude, listen to this guy's voice. And then I remember, like,
Yeah.
I always used to stand in front of my mirror and play with this plastic battle axe, which is funny because my guitar is a Gibson SG, which kind of looks like a battle axe. I don't know if that's
Nice.
subconscious coincidence, but I would always play, and you know, I would sing along to Rancid and Green Day and Operation Ivy, but like that shit wasn't quite angry enough for me. You know, it didn't quite match exactly what I felt like I was going through at the time. So when like Leftover Crack came out, and like, well, we found Choking Victim first, and then we're like, oh wait, they're broken up already. And then that shit, it was like the same chord progressions that I loved, but the music, the intent was that much more like fierce and evil, and it spoke to my soul. And I remember,
Right.
or my lack of soul maybe. And the first time I ever screamed, I was like screaming the lyrics of that song at the top of my lungs, and I fucking blew like a little blood vessel in my eye, and that was in 8th grade. And from 8th to 9th grade, I had this little fucking red dot on my eye for like over a year
Yeah.
from screaming like that.
God.
But
That's,
and people ask if it like fucked up my voice, like how I used to sing in my band No Cash, but
yeah.
I think it strengthened my voice. Like I think it made my vocal cords tougher.
Yeah. It, I think there's definitely a certain way to scream that won't completely like fuck your shit up. I know when I was younger, I just would scream, and now I've kind of honed in onto what will actually make my voice sustain, instead of just playing one show and then it's just gone.
So you can scream like night after night on a month-long tour and still have a voice at the end of it.
Yeah, and I sing and scream.
Yeah,
So
you have a crazy range.
yeah, I tried really hard to maintain that, for sure. I did take a vocal lesson maybe like 6 months ago, just to see what if there was anything constructive that they would say, and they told me that I was straining, that I needed to like not try so hard, but let it come naturally, and that it weirdly worked. And now I can go through a whole tour and not lose my voice, which I wasn't able to do before.
Damn, that sounds like an extremely valuable lesson you had there.
Yeah, it was surprisingly worked out.
Because I struggle with that too. Like, even after I quit screaming and I was just rapping in Mad Conductor, but we played for way too fucking long when we were like in the peak of our touring a couple years ago, and we're just only starting to play again now. But we would play for like 2 hours, and then I wouldn't be able to talk on the tour because I'd have to preserve my voice, and I would just come off as like really fucking rude, and people would be like, "Hey man, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while," and I kind of like have to nod and like just speak in like single, monosyllabic sentences and shit, and it's just like but now I'm like starting to bring my writing style full circle, and I'm doing the screaming as well in addition to the rapping, and I'm kind of like, I don't know, maybe I should look into what you're talking about, because I'm worried about that, like having multiple shows. Like, for instance, we're playing the 27th and then the 28th, and I'm like, I haven't really done this yet, playing back-to-back nights with my new screaming style, so I'll have to look into that. It's one of those things. I know that I should have taken a vocal lesson, but I fucking never have. I'm an idiot. But
yeah, that's how. I mean, it's a little silly when you think like, being fucking punk and going to a vocal lesson, but
no, it's great.
It definitely helps. Yeah.
First and foremost, I love music, and that's what I found out after playing in a punk band. It was like I felt the shackles that I wore within punk rock, but then I realized what I just loved was playing music. But now, like I said, it's come full circle, and I'm like feeling, I don't know, it's just something in the air. I think, I don't know, it's like I feel an obligation to like kind of bring the Babadook back out of retirement. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, but that, speaking of Leftover Crack, I was wondering about that Bedbugs and Beyond song. Is that a Days N Daze song that they recorded or did a rendition of? Like, what's the story behind that?
They hit us up, and Sturgeon wrote that. He just wanted us to do the intro for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he composed that introduction and y'all performed it?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that song kind of sounds like a No Cash song called Skate or Die. And I never knew if that was done like intentional. I'm like, is that a shout out, or is he mocking me, or was it done subconsciously? I don't know.
I don't know. Probably consciously.
Yeah.
I would assume.
I mean, if anything, it's like I ripped his style off for years and years anyway, so it didn't.
That's kind of what, I always message Eddie with, like, beginning songs. I'm like, does this sound like another song? And he's like, every song sounds like every song.
Yeah, right. There's only so many chord progressions.
Write what you need to write, and call it a day.
If you want it to be palatable to the masses, and then if you're like, well, I'm going to come up with my own weird new style, and then you put out like some crazy song and some odd time signature with like weird chords you invented, and nobody likes it.
Right. Yeah.
And everybody's like, yeah, I don't fucking get that song. I want to listen to something I can dance to and sing along with.
For sure.
Yeah. But no, it's been awesome talking to you, and I hope you have a fucking kick-ass tour. And I saw y'all be in Nashville on Halloween. Are y'all dressing up or what?
I want to dress up. I want to figure out something to do. Last year we didn't really do anything, so I want to do something. I'm not sure what yet.
You don't have an idea for a costume yet?
No, I don't.
Oh shit!
I need to. It's coming up. I need to figure it out. I think Jeff, our bassist, is going to be BoJack Horseman.
Oh, nice.
He has the whole outfit and everything. So,
Yeah, horses can be kind
but,
of creepy in like a weird satanic way, you know?
oh yeah, yeah, he pulls it off.
I wonder if y'all would all just be like animals, like of some sort, like animal you identify with, kind of.
We could. My go-to has always been Pikachu,
Oh,
but
all right. Yeah, we carved pumpkins like a couple years ago, and I remember I was like, I'm doing the Crimson Ghost, and my girlfriend was like, I'm gonna do Pikachu. Like, okay, that's cool. That's cool.
sweet.
Yeah, hell yeah. So yeah, I wish you luck out there. It sounds like you got the rest of your year kind of mapped out for you, maybe even longer than that. And if I don't talk to you or see you before then, have fun out in on the other side of the world, motherfucking world.
Thanks for hitting me up and talking. It's awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah. Thanks, Whitney.
Bye.
Peace.